don't take it lightly being your diocese president. As I conference call with the district presidents and they tell me what's going on in their districts, their struggles, you know, my heart goes out to them. I have a heart for young people, ladies and gentlemen. The church of tomorrow. Our theme says, one goal, God's glory. Our theme verse is Matthew 5:16, where it says, let your light so shine before men that they may see. We are in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. If there ever was a time, those of you that are saved and know you're saved, if there ever was a time you need to let your light shine. The world don't mind letting you know where they stand. You ask them anything, whether it's education, whether their position on homosexuality, they don't mind being bold letting you know where they stand. But the church seems like it's silent. As I pondered what to say to try to challenge the diocese this morning, again, we've had a great year. There's plenty of work to be done, Bishop Campbell. Again, we thank you all for your support of the youth conference at Sweet Home. Again, we apologize for the seating, for not having enough seats, but we had a great time. We thank you all for giving us that Saturday. Amen. Also the Bowl-a-thon. We thank you all so much back in December, if I'm not mistaken. You all packed out Paradise Lane. We had a glorious time. And we appreciate your attendance for the Bowl-a-thon. Also for the Leadership Award, we thank you all. We raised more money than we did last year. We almost raised $10,000 this year. And we have 11 participants today that will be awarded scholarships because of you. Thank you all for that. But as we move forward, I just want to encourage as well as challenge the diocese. It is high time. I'm in the school system. I don't know if you see what I see. But if it ever was a time we need examples, that we need them now. I pondered what to speak about today, just to encourage you. I won't be long, trust me. Give me 15 minutes, I'll be finished. And the Lord led me to Exodus, the 32nd chapter, if you have your Bible. And we're going to be very brief, and it ties in with our theme. It ties in with our theme verse. Exodus chapter 32. For the last month or two, I've been reading through Exodus chapter 32. And I just read a couple of verses, Exodus chapter 32, verse 19. It says, and it came to pass as soon as he came down to the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mountain. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not in anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we want not what is become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever has any gold, let them break it. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out of this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. I want to pose the question this morning to you. Who is on the Lord's side? Question. Who is on the Lord's side? We all know the background of this story. Moses had been gone 40 days to go get direction from the Lord. The Bible records that he was one of the few men that talked to God but face to face. But the Lord told him while they was communing together to what? Get back down. The people had did what? Took a turn. Had replaced him with a golden calf. As I Lord's side this morning. The world don't mind letting you know where they stand, how they live. They don't have nothing to do with God. But if we notice the question that was posed to the nation of Israel, they symbolize what? The church. The Lord is asking the diocese this morning, who's on the Lord's side this morning? The Bible records as Moses was coming down the mountain, he could hear what? The clapping, the laughing, the dancing. God's people. His chosen people. The one that had witnessed his goodness and his mercy. The one that he had administered and conducted miracles right before their eyes. The Lord Moses asked the question, who's on the Lord's side? This morning as we assemble, as I visit Sunday schools and districts, I ask myself the question, I wonder who in there on the Lord's side? What do you base it on, Brother Goodall? Based on priority. You know, district presidents will tell you it's almost hard to get anybody to do anything for the Lord. It's almost like pulling teeth to get anybody to do anything for the Lord. Moses asked the question, who's on the Lord's side this morning? When you're not at church, when you are with your friends, when you're on the job, who's on the Lord's side? Ain't no but the devil. You know, the army says they're always looking for what? A few good men, right? The Lord is looking for a few good soldiers, ladies and gentlemen. Those that are examples. As I look at that text, the devil, Aaron allowed the devil to use him for a little while. Aaron, Moses' brother, allowed him to be used by the devil to cause the people to err. You know, as we travel the diocese and sometimes I ask for testimonies and, you know, if the Lord has been good to you, it should be no doubt. If you know what the Lord has brought you out of, it should be no doubt. You know, as we look at the text, we see that the question was posed, who's on the Lord's side? To get their attention. How many of you all today know without a shadow of doubt you're saved today? That your job, your children are not priority this morning. The Lord is asking this diocese this morning, who's on the Lord's side? Who's willing? He said in his word in John 10:4, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me. The reason Moses asked that question, I asked the question, because based on what conduct? You know, I think verse Matthew 5:16 say, let your light show sign. We need to see. My generation needs to see something. You all owe it to my generation. The generation that's in front of me, you all owe it. You know, I have a little son named Bert Jr. Every time I come home from school, Daddy, what we going to do today? Now, his job is to cut the grass. I have one of those stag zero-turn mower. He get out there and cut the grass. He asked me, Daddy, why don't you come out here and help me cut the grass? I said, son, we don't have one more. I said, I tell you what. I'll go down to Uncle Mark's house and get his mower. Every turn I made, guess what he did? Now, I'm in one mower. He's behind me in the other mower. Both of them turned in a zero turn. Every turn I made, he made a turn. I said, son, you driving too close. Dad, I'm trying to keep up with you. I said, son, we got all this grass to cut. Why you riding up behind me? But that taught me something. Every move I make, he watches. Sometimes I will come home and maybe Annette is working with them with their lesson. I try to sneak out the house. I'll be in the truck pulling out. Dad, where you going? Dad, where you going? One day he was on his bike. I'm pulling out the truck. I'm going, Dad, where you going? I saw you. The point I'm making, people are watching. The world is watching.
Oh, yeah.
They're watching every decision you make. They're watching when you're on high. They're watching when you're in the valley. And it behooves us as Our theme verse said, let your light. We can't pick and choose when we decide to let our light shine. When the dirty jokes are being told and people are wanting to go a different direction when you're on your job, you let your light shine. If we're going to grow our Sunday schools, if we're going to grow our churches, everybody's looking for an example. Everybody's looking for an example. Church, if it ever was a time, the Lord has truly called you to lead and be an example, step out. You know, as I've been employed with the school system for almost 13 years now, it's so many camouflage Christians out there. Just Brother Good, what's your position on this? Okay, I give you. Then you have Sister so-and-so or Deacon so-and-so. And I don't want to get into that. Moses asked the question, who's on the Lord's side this morning? Based on Israel's conduct, they didn't show an example that there was people that was on the Lord's side. As I visit churches and Sunday schools, a lot of times, you know, I pick up the attitudes and the desire that I don't want to work in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is God's thing that we're dealing with. The Bible says he's coming back like a thief in the night. Nobody knows the day nor the hour. I just want to challenge you all today as we one goal, God's glory. Paul made the statement in Corinthians that he was pressing toward the mark. How many of you all have the burden of your young people, of your family members on your heart? One goal, God's glory. What's your goal? What's your spiritual goal? What's your spiritual goal today? Our thing says one goal, God's glory. How many of you all are fighting for your families today? That wayward son or daughter will come to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Hebrews say, I think it's Hebrews 2 and 3 say, how shall we escape if we neglect so great a salvation? What's your plan B in this day and time in which we're living in? What's your plan B in your day and time in which we're living in? One goal, God's good. As we move into the next church calendar year, let your light shine. I really appreciate the Mid-South District. I really appreciate my church family. And I really appreciate most of all the leadership of my church. It means something when leadership is letting their light shine. It means something when you can't point a finger. I want to challenge you all today. My superintendent, Dr. Ronnie McGee, he often tells us, this is his motto. He said, good luck. I don't want to act like y'all are playing. I don't want you all to act like you are playing school up there. Man. I want you all to have school. He tells all his principals that. He said, I don't want you all to look like you all are having school, but you're not. In the church today, the Lord really wants us to be what? Up and about his business. Serving. Being an example, being a light in this dark and evil world in which we live in. I ask my seniors and juniors all the time, what are you going to do with your life? You know, where are God's plans in your life? I said, Mr. Good, I don't have any. You know, God is something you do, and church is something you do when you don't have anything else to do. I said, who told you that? They say I based it on what I've seen as I've grown up over the years. Most people in church ain't nothing Mr. Goodman. Brother so-and-so, deacon so-and-so, pastor so-and-so. Their heart ain't in that. That's a Sunday thing, isn't it? What am I saying here today? You can't fool this generation. Let's live before them. Where your heart is, everybody knows. I know where my father's heart is. I know where my wife's heart is. I know where the chairman of the deacon board's heart is. The world knows where your heart is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do all we can while we can. My grandmother used to say, at some point in this life, you're going to need God. You're going to need him. And we need to live as though we're going to need him. None of us know what the next moment or the next minute may bring. As Moses answers the question, because of Aaron and some of the other elders who allowed the children of Israel to drift off into all that stuff, 3,000 millions lost their lives. Read the text. My family, Bert Jr. and Allen, depend on how I act. I realize the influence of a father that I had. Don't you know you all have influence in the church? There are some people in the church that would never come shake your hand, but they're watching everything you do, and they are forming an opinion. Should I follow this Christ or not? Based on how sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so is acting. I'm sitting back watching one go. God's glory. Folks are watching.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They're watching whether your light is on or whether it's off. They're watching you Monday through Friday. What you say, how you say, what you entertain, what's priority. I encourage the Sunday school. I challenge you all. Let's be up and be about God's business. We are losing a generation behind us. The devil, you know, if there was a such thing as giving the devil a hand clap of praise, he deserved what he did. Yeah, guess what? He's doing his job. Facebook, textbook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, he's doing everything that he needs to get this generation. What are you doing today? You know, as I look at the text and I'm finished, it took a lot of courage for Moses to address over 1 million people in the midst of their stuff. This day and time as we move forward, it's going to take some courage, you all. But God promised he would never leave us nor forsake us. It's going to take some courage, especially in our families, to correct and stain and be that light that we need to see today. Again, as we move forward, again, we appreciate you all. We don't take it for granted. I just want you to know we haven't arrived yet. There's plenty of work that needs to be done. Again, I want to thank my district presidents. I want to thank Bishop Campbell for his support of the diocese. And I want my young people to get to know the Lord early, before your heart becomes hardened to the things of this life. It's nothing like having the Lord in your life. Again, our theme, one goal, God's glory. Again, I thank you so much, and as this is my address this morning, I just pray that you all would pray with me, pray for our district president. So when the Lord does rapture the church, everybody goes, how many of you all want your unsaved loved ones to be saved as well? I'm sure to have a burden for your unsaved loved ones. Or are you like most of the hypocrites that you find in the churches? I got mine. You get yours. Let's be the lights that he's calling for in these last days. Thank you so much. My wife, she thought I was going to get a bit fussing, but I'm not fussing. I love you all. I really do. The Church of Christ Holiness is all I know. I don't know anything yet. My dad tells me all the time, there's no better doctrine you will find anywhere, son. The blessed book is right. All we got to do is be obedient and do what the Lord has called us to do. Thank you very much.